Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Thursday, all today's guests, including Farhan standing by at Rogers Arena, are brought to you by the Vancouver Giants. It's a big weekend at the LEC tomorrow night. The Giants take on Portland at 7 p.m. Reasonably priced tickets. Oh, more than reasonable. Family Day Monday, they have a 2 p.m. matinee game against Kelowna. Visit vancouvergiants.com/tickets for ticket details. Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox. Plant Man from Surrey. Your poll question is the reason why the media in Vancouver gets such a bad rap, creating controversy where there is none. You'll see what Plant Man is talking about next segment. We'll introduce the Bet99.net poll question. But
Plant Man.
Right now, we have to get to Farhan Lalji from TSN at Rogers Arena. Farhan, thanks for doing this, sir. Back from the Super Bowl. How are you?
I'm good. What was your question now? What kind of trouble are you guys causing?
Well, without giving too much away, it has to do with a certain Red Wings celebration.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I got you.
We'll get into that later. Hey, Farhan, you're back from the Super Bowl. Just your reaction. I know you spent a lot of time working in the States on assignment. Just your reaction to the gun violence at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade.
Oh, it was horrible. Just horrible. I mean, a celebration where, everybody's so excited about their team winning a Super Bowl. But it's not just that they're there to celebrate and be happy, but when you're in a setting like that, you're just so exposed, right? There's simply no way to be protected. I know there were 800 police officers there and, people in law enforcement on roofs and things like that. But when you've got hundreds of thousands of people that are all in the same spot, you're just so exposed. And the thought that, 9 children were hit by gunshot is devastating, let alone the one person who passed away. Everybody wants to jump on this and make it a political issue right away. And sadly, it is a political issue, right? And you have one side that say guns don't kill people, and you have one side that say people can't kill people without weapons, right? So I'm certainly on that side. I think they need sensible gun laws. It's not about taking all your guns away. It's about, creating scenarios where people who don't have guns, where people who shouldn't have guns don't have guns. And but it's a society down there where they've had more. I think they've had 49 mass shootings in 48 days so far in this calendar year. Like, at some point, you'd think something's got to change, but as long as the NRA and the gun lobby spends the amount they do in buying politicians, I just don't know how it does change.
Tough turn, Farhan. We're going to take it, and I know you're at the arena right now, and we'll talk hockey in a second, but you're at the Super Bowl. 49ers Chiefs, which team is most likely to get back to the Super Bowl 59?
Yeah, I think they both have some work to do. And at the parade before all the unfortunate stuff went on, Chris Jones said, I'm going to be back here. And if they can get Chris Jones and L'Jarius Sneed re-signed, there's no reason why Kansas City can't be back there. And you look at San Francisco, next year's going to be a critical year for them because it's after that they're going to have to pay Brock Purdy. So if you look at that San Francisco lineup right now, they got 4 players that are the highest paid at their respective positions in the league, including guys like Nick Bosa and Christian McCaffrey, right? Like you've got to take advantage of the fact that you're not paying your quarterback heavy, because once you do, there's going to be some tough decisions for them to make, right? So I think next year San Francisco's got a great opportunity to get back. And look, this was, as everybody says, this was the Chiefs' down year, and they wind up winning the Super Bowl on their down year. So when Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback and he's healthy, you can overcome all and get back to the big game.
Farhan, you're a football coach. Can you excuse Travis Kelce for going ballistic on Andy Reid?
Well, what I think is not really what matters. It's kind of what Andy Reid thinks, right? And I think Travis Kelce had a bit of a mea culpa on his podcast and even after the game, that it was an unfortunate reaction. It was over the line. Jason Kelce said it was over the line. But, Andy Reid just appreciates the fact that he wanted to be on the field. It wasn't, a player who came at him in a selfish way. It was a player who came at him wanting to help. Would you expect or accept that from a high school kid? Probably not, right? Because you're kind of thinking different levels of respect between young people and adults. But all that said, as long as the head coach is good with it, my opinion doesn't really matter.
Farhan, CFL football, the BC Lions lost a good one. Matthew Betts, defensive lineman, Detroit Lions. Talk about how he ended up in Detroit. It was between BC and Hamilton in the CFL. Are you surprised he went to the NFL?
Yes and no. Initially, the reports I gotten from the three NFL teams maybe was that it wasn't necessarily going to be an option for him, right? Can he make the NFL? We'll see, right? He says he's not going to necessarily change his body and his weight and things like that going into it, and so we'll see if he can hold up against the run. But I mean, ultimately, I think if he makes that team, it's going to be as a special teams player and as a situational pass rusher. He's got a great motor, which Dan Campbell's going to get enamored with. But the other challenge is that he's going to be 29, right? So, I'm not down on him for doing this. I'm not going to be that guy that supports Nathan Rourke chasing his dream and then all of a sudden not support Matthew Betts. I hope it works out for him. I'm glad he's taking his shot. Tougher without a guarantee, but it's his shot to take, right? So, we'll see what it looks like for him in OTAs. He's got a great motor. He runs well. And hopefully that'll give him a chance to get on the roster. But, yeah, tough for the Lions, tough for the CFL to lose a Canadian player of that quality.
All right, big news in Vancouver. Phil Kessel in town working out for the Canucks. We're going to find out if they sign him here soon or not. But your thoughts on Phil the Thrill in town?
Yeah, I saw the video yesterday. And I guess I'm not going to say I was surprised, right, because Phil Kessel's never necessarily been known for his fitness levels. It's whether or not he can put the puck in the net. And, this is a player that played all 82 games last year for Vegas, but then barely played in the playoffs after the first round. So, if he can drop into a top six role here, that kind of makes you wonder, right, about what else is here. I think that if they sign him, it's such a low-cost move, right? So certainly the Canucks are right for doing this because there was no acquisition cost. Hopefully they can sign him to a contract that's fully variable in the minors, so it doesn't prevent them from making some other decisions at the deadline. But look, if this guy gets here and he gets here on a fourth line, gets some power play time, and then gets elevated for a certain number of shifts per game into a top six role, maybe he can help this team, right? All of a sudden, if they've got to roll him out there the way Rick Tocchet expects his team to play 200 feet, I think that might be a challenge if he's going to be a full-time top six player. So, again, low-cost bets. The Canucks are right for doing this. They know the player better than anybody in the NHL. So I'm interested to see what it looks like, and hopefully they give him a bit of a conditioning stint, not rush this process, and let's see how he can play in games in Abbotsford before he comes here. But I think we all expect that at some point he's going to be signed.
Where are those seats you're sitting in? Where are they located? Are they down low?
Well, he's not going to go to the upper
ice
deck.
Ice level, right here, buddy.
We brought this up earlier. Have you ever sat ice level for an NHL game?
I have. Yeah, and actually, back in the day when we used to have rights, no, not TSN money, but we were down here, kind of in this handicap area where we were just kind of standing or set up, and the game is so different from ice level. We watch it on TV, and we think that we can, move these players around like chess pieces, and it looks so easy. But I mean, Donnie, you coach games on benches, and and even not at the NHL level, when you watch the game down here, and I remember watching like some of the great Vancouver-Chicago rivalry games and Vancouver-Detroit rivalry games when the Wings, who they're playing tonight, were atop the NHL, right? When they had Lidstrom and Zetterberg and Datsuk. Wow, were those games incredible from ice level. So it's different. I'm going to have to get down here at some point to watch a game from here again.
Will you buck up to do that? Will you pay for those tickets?
Hell no.
There you go.
Yours.
Media guys are the worst. If it ain't free, they ain't doing it.
Yeah, no free golf shirts for me, though. We know the guy that does that.
Who?
Moj.
Oh, that.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
right.
Moj, yeah.
Free golf shirts for everything.
Yeah, no
Henderson
kidding.
chuckles in the background.
Next week, we'll talk to you, Farhan. Good to have you back in town.
All right, see you guys.